Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Photography Pubcast. This is season 5, episode 3. There's 5 of us here this week because Dave's not about this week, and Adam's not here for a few weeks now. He's workshop season for him, so he's not about. And also, we're not here next week or the week after because that coincides with when Stu's not here, and it's not worth doing it if Stu's not here, is it, Stu?
No, we pack up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So so that's where we're at. So before we go any further, how are you all? How's your week been?
I had a nightmare this morning. Real nightmare this morning. Well, fog was predicted all around the south of the country today, wasn't it? This morning. And I thought, well, it's a work day. I can't go out. I've got to be in my desk. But I remembered that my son works 10 minutes from Home Fen. So last night I convinced him that it would be in his interest to get into work an hour and a half earlier than he normally does if I took him and dropped him off rather than him get the bus, which he agreed to. So I did go down there first thing this morning, and I was conscious that I needed to get back because it's work. I had about 45 minutes and the conditions were absolutely glorious. There was I talked about last week with the light coming through the fog. It was that. Yeah. It was stunning. And I just wanted to stay, but I thought I can't because I've got to get to work. So I literally I got back to the car. I turned around behind me, saw the light, and I thought, no, I can't. I don't want to go. I want to stay. But I had to go to work. But I got a couple of shots, but it was glorious this morning, wasn't it? Did you get out as well, Gary? Did you say?
I did, yeah. I went to a place called Rammermere Heath, which is sort of by Woburn. And I didn't have the light that you had, but I had the fog until 10:30, the mist. So it was brilliant, really, really brilliant. And to be honest with you, I've been there before, but never really explored it as much as I did this time. And it's unbelievable. It's a really beautiful place, massive. And there's a huge woodland next to it as well. And I didn't even go in the woodland. I was just spent the whole 3 hours on the heath. So yeah, it was really good. Really, really good this morning. Yeah.
It was.
Yes, and then of course, we met up on Sunday, didn't we, Jamie?
We did. Yeah, a nice morning.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. The only thing that frustrates me, and I think we might be talking about this later, is my best photo is yours.
Well, to be fair, I did show you it, so it was a composition that I showed you. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. My best photo is yours.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to moan at me for plagiarising your shot.
No, mate. It's totally. We will talk about that later, perhaps, Stu. It was totally your shot, mate. 100% your shot. I'm just frustrated because it was the best one I took all day. So
that was what I went to retake again this morning. So I went back to there this morning to retake that shot because I felt I didn't really do it justice last week because I wasn't really concentrating. So I went back and took it again, and actually then took one 45 degrees to the left, towards the light, which I think I might like even better. So,
Okay. Really quickly before we go on to anyone else, I need to say a massive thank you to Hugh Alban, who is he saw my photo, one of my photos from Sunday, and he said, "Oh, I will print that for you if you want." And I was like, "Oh, okay. How much do you want for it?" Nothing. So he's printed it up for me in A2, and it's on its way to me. So thanks very much, mate. I really, really appreciate that. So,
good stuff.
Well done.
Yeah. He did say he wouldn't do it for the rest of you, but what can you say? Anyone else been up to anything exciting?
Unfortunately, not.
Nope.
No.
You
Sam.
have. Sam, go on.
Well, I went to Glen Affric last weekend, which I always try and do a couple of times in the autumn if I can. And it was beautiful. As we were saying last week, autumn this year has come so much earlier than it was last year, and it's actually caught me out a little bit. So yeah, I sort of had a good weather forecast for Sunday morning, so I dashed down. It's probably just over 2 hours to get down there from where I am. So it's not something I would do too often, but it's definitely worth the trip, and it was absolutely glorious down there. So yeah. I don't know if I came away with any amazing photographs. The trouble with Glen Affric is it's such a large area. I sort of had this plan in my mind of where I wanted to get to, but I just kept stopping and stopping and stopping. And there's this big long road that goes down there, and I just kept stopping all the way down, and it took me ages to actually get it.
I found that.
So I think probably the more I go, the better I get to know it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit easier. But I might have got 1 or 2 images which are at least worth sharing in a video. So
better make the most of it, because isn't it going to be like gale force winds from
Storm
Sunday
Ashley
everywhere?
Yeah.
Storm
Yeah,
Ashley.
so
on
just
Sunday.
blow all the leaves off the trees, and then that'll be it. It'll just be bare branches.
Yep.
At times. Stu, you been up to anything exciting?
Not a great day. Not done much. I did sell a massive print earlier in the week, which was a nice surprise, because every now and again, with running a gallery, you'll get the odd inquiry where people want these massive prints, and most of the time they don't come off, to be honest. It's usually just tire kickers and whatever. When as soon as you give them an actual price for this stuff, they usually run away. But no, someone, well, I can't say someone, it's actually a company, I can probably say on here because I'm pretty sure they don't watch this. You'll have seen on social media the company Maze. They do like the luxury,
the house drawers.
House drawers things. I don't know. They're doing one in Coniston, I think, and like an intermediary got in touch with me about would I do a big print for them and whatever, and the size that they were talking it, because usually when someone says, well, how big can you print? I said, well, how big do you want it to be printed? And then they said to me, well, as big as you can print it. Usually I sort of roll my eyes a little bit, because as I say, you put a price together and then they usually go away. But no, put a price together for them and they were happy enough to pay it. So this print that I've done, I'm hoping to actually, when it's in situ, to get them to send me a couple of decent high-res pictures of it that I can, put on my website and stuff. But the print that they went for, it's like 64 inches wide, I think, something like that. It's like nearly 2 A0s, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Massive thing. And then by the time you put a big chunky frame on it, because it has to be a big chunky frame with something that size, I haven't seen it yet up, but I would imagine something that size will look pretty decent. So yeah, that was nice. As I say, it's not very often, but
it's framed. Then it's not a vinyl on the wall, so it's an actual framed print.
Yeah,
okay.
Framed up. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So did you have to arrange the production then, Stu?
Yeah. So normally, I print everything at home, but the Canon 2100 I've got does 24-inch wide rolls. Usually that's big enough for anyone, but this thing had to come off my framer's printer. He's got the 6100 Canon, which is 60-inch wide rolls. So I think the dimensions of it, so on the long edge it was about 64 inches. I think the short edge was about 42-ish, something like that. Anyway. So he printed it up for me, and then we sent it off to them, and then they framed it up themselves with the framer they use. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like when it's done.
Well, that is absolutely amazing news. Gets worse, doesn't it? Gets worse. That's my dad joke of the week this week. So you haven't done anything, Daz? No, nothing exciting.
No, mate. I couldn't meet with you guys last week because. I know
you couldn't be bothered.
Well,
you couldn't be honest.
No, not at all, mate. When we recorded on the Friday, I apologised for you. You had to edit me coughing the whole way through, and I was ill for a week up to that point, and I didn't work Saturday and Sunday, and I must admit, all weekend I just felt absolutely lousy, and I just felt I needed to rest because I was desperate to join you. I ain't got the camera out for a while, so I really wanted to go, but I just thought no. When your body just says enough, do you know what I mean? Just rest, and that's pretty much what I did all weekend. So, but I feel a lot better now and all ready for the lakes. So,
brilliant! And when's that? You're both going, aren't you? Are you going up there as well? Jamie?
Yeah, but we're going
separate ways.
Not going together, are you? Yeah.
No. But yeah. So, but as I say, by the time we get there, there'll probably be no leaves left on the tree. So,
but at least the lakes will be a bit bigger. So
they will.
Swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Okay, well, shall we go through what we're drinking, seeing as we're in the virtual pub? I'm going to go first this week. I think we went first last week. I'm going first this week. I've got a weird beer. This is, has anyone heard of that Erdinger?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
German.
It's a wheat beer, I think. Apparently, it's quite nice. Got it from Ocado. We had a posh Ocado this week, so I've got a Star of Pramen, which isn't that posh, but I've got this and another, I don't know, beer I've never heard of. So you can tell it's posh because it comes in 500 mils and not the 660s. So for the same price. So yeah,
I got quite tipsy on a beer like that when I was in Germany. We went over there to meet some clients, and they said to me, I thought they said, "You want a weak beer?" And I said, "Oh yeah, that's right up my street." Didn't realise they said wheat beer.
oh yeah,
So after about 3 of them, I was thinking, "Crikey, this beer's not that weak after all." It tasted nice.
Yeah, so it is nice. It's a nice beer. What's everyone else drinking?
I've got 2. I've got soft drink, but if I can keep my eyes open long enough, I've got a Birra.
Oh, Moretti. Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm tempted, but I'm worried it might send me to sleep. So
I edited a video today for the first time since forever. I actually recorded a video today when I went out, and I edited it, and I fell asleep watching it.
That's not a good advert, then, is it?
Is that a promotion?
Yeah, no, because I've got up early.
That's the trailer.
I was like, right, I must focus on this to make sure I haven't done anything wrong. And then I was about 5 minutes in, and then I woke up and it had finished. So who knows? Who knows?
Best not put that out as the intro then. Or on the
So
thumbnail.
good, I
I
fell
fell
asleep.
asleep watching this.
Although it is quite a chilled video. It's quite a chilled video. It's a bit different from my normal stuff. So because I'm not reviewing anything. Anyway, Jamie, what are you drinking?
Well, I've kept with the Northern Monk that I had last week, but I've gone for. I thought it was It's called Sup, because I quite like a citrus IPA, and I thought that's what it was because it says it's got a dash of lime, but I think actually it's lager and lime because it doesn't actually say anywhere that it's IPA. It says it's a session beer with a dash of lime. It's all right, it's nice, but I think it's actually lager and lime, and it's actually only 3.4 as well. So it's like drinking water.
What are you drinking, Sam?
Well, I didn't manage to make it to the shops again over last week, so I'm back on the Beavertown neck oil, which I'm actually really enjoying. In fact, I think I saw someone wrote in the comments that they recommend it, and I would concur. It is very enjoyable.
I'm not being funny. You guys got to try a bit harder because every week I'm trying to have a different beer, and you guys are all drinking the same thing.
Yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere, Gary. It takes me an hour to get to the shop.
Well, do it for us.
I'm going tomorrow.
For us.
I'm going tomorrow. I've got to have I've got my monthly trip
I had
to
Peroni last
Inverness.
week.
You did. Yes, you did have Peroni last week. But Sam, you're going tomorrow, but we're actually off now for 2 weeks. So will it last?
No, it's not going to last. But I can test out a load of things before the next one.
Okay. Can you do a little review for us while you're drunk, and we'll air it on the next podcast?
No, I've heard reviews aren't very popular anymore, Gary.
No, they're not. No. And Daz, finally, what are you drinking, mate?
Well, I just opened a can of Carlsberg about 20 minutes before we started recording, but I'm going to go and get.
Girly
I think I've got some.
We're going to up it and have a Foster's.
Cobra. I think I've got a Cobra.
Or a Carly.
Yeah. Or we're going to push the boundaries.
So yeah, I'm going to go and get that in a minute when that's finished.
Okay.
So
All right. Cool. All right. So we haven't been up too much this week, and we're all drinking the same stuff, so it's going really well. Shall we move on to Whinge of the Week now? Has anyone got a Whinge of the Week before I go?
come on, guys, you know you're dying to get this out.
Well, I have. Do you know what? Right, I this has been bugging me for a long time, and it's sort of been simmering under, and I've never really considered mentioning it on here. But now this morning, I had something happen to me that made me really want to. So my whinge of the week, and this could be a Room 101, right? But it's so bad, I can't wait for it to be a Room 101. So it's a whinge of the week. It's drivers, right? Drivers. So on where I live, right? You come out of our village and you turn right at the roundabout, okay, and there's a dual carriageway, which is like a bypass for the village, right? And then about 2 miles down the road, you got another roundabout where you can turn left, right, or straight on, right? Just lately, there seems to be like a proliferation of cars or drivers that seem to think that they need to get into the outside lane straight after the first roundabout to go right 2 miles down the road. So you're sat there behind a car doing 60 miles an hour on a dual carriageway because they want to go right in 2 miles' time. And I'm like, honestly, it's doing my nutting. I can't deal with it anymore. And the other thing as well is they also coming down. So if you come from Bedford on towards this road, you go right at the roundabout to get onto this dual carriageway. And there's cars that actually go on the outside lane, so as if they're going left or straight on, to get on the outside lane of the dual carriageway. So when they turn right in the left-hand lane. I can't. No one cares. Why don't you care? You need to care. It's really annoying. Everyone's just sitting there quietly. You should be outraged, as I am about it.
I know that was your whinge of the week, but what you just said was really boring.
It's not boring. Might be boring to you, but I have to suffer it all the time. I hate. And do you know what someone did to me the other day, right? And this really wound me up, because there's a reason it really wound me up. I was coming back from McDonald's, right? Okay.
Of course you was.
Yeah.
Which lane were you in?
I had all my food on the passenger seat, right? In a bag, right? I'm driving, there's a roundabout, yeah? And you can't turn. So just before the roundabout, there's a right turn, yeah? But you can't turn right. You have to go all the way around the roundabout and turn left, right? Which is fair, yeah? So get to the roundabout, and at this roundabout, it's either straight on, left, or double back, right? So if you're going left, you go in the left-hand lane. If you're going straight on or doubling back, you go in the right-hand lane, right? Okay. I'm in the right-hand lane. The car in front of me is in the right-hand lane. He indicates to go right. So, okay, he's going all the way around the roundabout. Fine, yeah? So he goes all the way around the roundabout, and then he goes round as if he could have just done to go left. So he's gone like that, round, and then all the way around there like that. And I've gone, slammed my brakes on, the chips are in the burger's gone, the chips are gone. Luckily, I had my drinks in the cup holders, otherwise they'd have gone. And I'd slammed my brakes on. Now, technically, it's not his fault because he was on the roundabout. But he could have just gone left, but he went all the way. Anyway, I sat in the middle of the roundabout, and I just went, like that. And I'm looking at my chips on the floor, and luckily the chicken nuggets and the burger stayed in the packet. But I then had to pull over. I didn't know this at the time. Apple pie was on the floor as well. I had to pull over in the first lay-by to check the status of my McDonald's, and luckily I lost most of my chips, but that was all. But if I'd have lost the whole lot, I'd have chased him. I'd have gone back. I'd have chased him wherever he'd gone. Honestly, because that is just out of order. So I know you guys might be bored by it, but my God, it makes me boil. Do you get road rage?
Not really.
No, not really.
No. I get road rage so bad.
No, I just tend to let it go.
So I get it so bad.
It's pointless.
But they're holding me up.
It's fine.
Well, I live on I live on the NC 500, so I could probably talk all day about driving and poor driving, but I won't. But actually,
it's boring, Sam.
Exactly, it's boring. But one of my favourite pastimes is there's certain groups on Facebook that like to complain about things, and I have a lot of sympathy for a lot of their complaints. Not all of them necessarily, but a lot of their complaints I have a lot of sympathy for. But I do just really enjoy seeing people's rants, and I never comment myself. I just go on the group and I just kind of read through the comments, and it's one of my favorite pastimes is just seeing how upset people get about it. It's
I get really upset. Do you know what else upsets me regarding driving as well, right? In our village, we haven't got speed camera, right? But we have speed cameras occasionally, like mobile speed cameras. So on the Facebook page, someone will put up all mobile speed camera in the village, right? Which I think is like, okay. Because when I was, you see a speed camera, you see cars coming the other way, you flash them, speed camera, flash them. Now, you get all these people on Facebook going, don't tell them if they speed, they deserve to die. They deserve it. They deserve the fine. They deserve to rot in hell for driving at 36 miles an hour. And so the person who puts and says, oh, there's a speed camera in the village gets vilified by all these others. And now we've got this group that's just started up, like called Speed Watch. And they've all got photos. They're taking a group photo of themselves with their stupid yellow Macs on going, oh, look at me, I'm in Speed Watch. Piss off. That's
Gary,
my rant over.
How's your blood pressure?
I don't know. I do have to take a drug for it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my rant this week. So that's my whinge. And if any of you out there appreciate what I'm saying, then let me know, because it just, oh my God, it winds me up. Anyway, moving on. Let's find someone else to get wound up. Let's talk about plagiarism. Has anyone suffered from plagiarism in the last few days, Stuart?
Yes, I have.
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to share with the group?
Go on then. I've got it. I mean, this is a bit of a sort of tricky subject to talk about. I've got to be careful with what I say here, but plagiarism. So I did a video recently up at a place that I've been to many times, and took a picture that I'd actually, as I said in the video, and we were joking about last week about workshops, taken clients to, but never actually taken a picture myself. So went up there, took this picture, put it on social media. Now, the area that I've taken this picture from isn't like, I'm always very careful, and I think everyone should be, that, you should never really make proclamations about being the first person to have ever shot anything, because you can guarantee if you go back far enough on social media, you'll find someone that has taken a shot from the spot that you're at, even if it's not the exact spot. So anyway, I take the shot, put it on social media. And then the only reason this came to light was because I had about 6 or 7 DMs from people on different social media saying about these pictures that were, basically copies of the picture I'd put in the video, which is, it's a bit disappointing, to be honest. It doesn't bother me as such, because at the end of the day, if you follow enough of this stuff on social media, you know exactly who it is that's kind of doing it, and you know who the person is that took the original photo. I'm long past the stage of really caring about a lot of that stuff, but I think it's disappointing when people do this sort of thing and there's no acknowledgement from that person to where they were inspired, because it's a fine line between sort of plagiarism and inspiration. And I think we've all been to places where you've seen a shot that someone else has taken and you're inspired to go there and take a similar shot. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Everyone does that. I think if you're inspired to do that clearly by someone else, then it's always just good courtesy and etiquette, wherever you post your version of it, to say, blah, 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 I was inspired by such and such a person. Here's my version of it. Now, that person that you're inspired by doesn't necessarily have to have been the first person to have ever taken that shot there. That's not what I'm saying. But in this case, anyway, I had one version in particular. There was actually 2 versions, but the second one in particular was quite jarring, to be honest, because I don't know if we're going to put these on the screen or not. I don't know if maybe that's a good idea, to be honest. But the version that I've seen is literally down to they could have literally stood in the same tripod holes and the exact focal length and everything, What
I'll do, Stu, is I'm not sure I'll have the I don't think I would be allowed to put their picture up without their permission.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'll just put yours up. I'll just put yours up twice.
Yeah, as a reference.
because it is exactly the same shot. So.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about that, really, I guess. But I think part of the problem in this instance, and I don't know if this is maybe I don't know, maybe like a new thing with the way social media is now and such. But I mean, I know when I started this kind of thing, you know, I personally think it's always a no-no. I think it's just a courtesy to respect other photographers and this, that, and the other. But the person who'd done it was it's such a brazen way of copying someone that I actually think that person doesn't genuinely think they've actually done anything wrong, which, you know, in a roundabout way is, you know, a bit sad really that, you know, we've got to a stage where photographers are now, because this photographer isn't particularly experienced, hasn't been doing photography a great amount of time, but, you know, I do worry that maybe if this is more commonplace than it's not something that I've had to really sort of deal with, I guess, for a while. But if we are at that stage, that isn't a good thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
Yeah, there you go.
It's interesting because I saw the shot in question, and actually we've been to that location ourselves. I think me, Sam, and Daz went up there when we went up there. And there isn't an actual obvious composition. It's not like a honeypot where you go and you put your tripod in the right place because there's an obvious composition. There isn't. There's a rocks, and there's several ways you could take that shot. So that's one obvious. To me, it was just obvious that he had seen your shot. The fact that it was in your tripod holes made it more obvious, but the fact that the composition was just so similar to yours, when there was lots of different ways that he could have taken that shot, even a foot to the left, a foot to the right, he would have got a similar shot. So it's not as though it was a coincidence. No.
The thing is, as well, James, the timing.
It's the timing. Yeah, it was like literally days after I'd taken that shot. Now, I should say, and I want to, you know, be clear here, that said person or any other person for that matter, they may well have already gone and taken that exact shot at a different time. You can't rule that out. That can potentially happen. But the evidence here suggests that that isn't the case. So I'm always careful when you start, you know, banding around things like plagiarism and stuff, because if you go far back enough in time, you might find another version of that. But because of the timing of it, it does, you know, suggest that.
I think the point as well, though, Stu, is it can only be called plagiarism. Like, you may say, okay, well, someone else might have taken that shot X number of years ago, but you didn't know that. So for you, that's a new shot.
Oh no.
As far as you're concerned, that's a new shot that's come out of your head that you've seen and you've taken. This guy clearly has seen yours because it's too much of a coincidence that it could be 3 or 4 days later, literally the same focal length, the same composition, the same time of day, and the same focal length. It's too much of a coincidence. Now, I saw it in because obviously we've chatted about it. I saw it in a group that I am on Facebook, and I put in the comments, "Nice shot, looks strangely familiar," thinking he'll go, "Oh, you know," either be defensive about it or say, "Yeah, I saw Stu's video," and he just put a thanks. That was it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I genuinely think he's a bit oblivious to it. Now, on the one hand, I'm a bit conflicted there, because on the one hand, I'm sort of thinking, well, if he's genuinely oblivious and thinks it's okay to do that, then in his head it's probably not a big deal. But on the other side of it, I'm thinking, well, you know, you've got to be pretty bloody stupid to think that that's an acceptable way to behave. You know what I mean? That mindset of, I'm going to go to an exact spot that someone else has taken a picture, replicate it. I mean, you can do that. You can go to a place and get even better conditions than the person who shot it first. But deep down, you'll always know in the back of your mind, you've just ripped someone else's picture off. Like, in my head, I could never do that.
Yeah, it's motivation as well. What's his motivation? Because I might think, I don't know, there might be people out there who see your shot and think, oh, I'd love to emulate that, see if I can do it, take it. But the difference is that he's taken it, not referenced you, and posted it in a lot of groups
Well,
So
that was why this came about.
Yeah. So what is his motivation? He obviously wants recognition for that shot, because if you don't want recognition for that shot, why are you posting it in so many groups?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so that in itself is what makes it wrong. Because even if he's oblivious, he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's stolen your shot, essentially, or that shot that he's seen from you, not necessarily your shot, because no one owns it. And I get that. I understand that. You're welcome. People are free to take whatever they want. It's not. But if you're then looking to gain some sort of recognition for that, then it really is your responsibility, or the onus is on you to say, do you know what? This is inspired by a shot that I saw from Stuart. That would be how I would look at it. What do you think, Daz? Because you're very quiet.
No, well, I was just listening, and it is an awkward one. So, I'm going to hold my hands up here that one of my favourite shots ever from Stuart is a photo that I have tried to replicate. Now, you guys have never seen it because I've never showed it, and it's certainly not gone on social media. I took that photo purely for me. That photo is a 5-minute walk from where I stay when I go on holiday. And I probably tried to take that shot maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times, because unless me and Helen are getting up at the crack of dawn, normally what I would do is to kill an hour in the morning while she's having a shower and getting ready. I'll just walk down to the lake and I'll just cast, and I'll see what the conditions are like. I think it's a great photo. I absolutely love that photo. But there is no way that I would ever put that photo on social media. And even if I did, I would give Stuart the credit for it, because I've only ever seen Stuart take that photo. So I think it kind of depends on what you're doing it for. I think you've touched on it there. If you take somebody else's photo and then you spam a load of groups with it looking for a pat on the back, then I think that's really disingenuous. I may be disingenuous. You guys might not agree with me, but when I took that photo, I took it for me, not for anyone to pat me on the back, not to pass it off as my own work, anything. And I say, literally, it's less than a 5-minute walk from where I stay. So it's a really easy walk for me. I either walk to it or walk past it, and I kill an hour before we're ready to kind of go out for the day.
Have you printed it? Have you printed it, Daz?
I've printed it, and it's on
you
my
owe
wall.
Stu money. You owe Stu money. You owe Stu money. You owe money.
And I love it. But
60 quid.
But you guys have never seen it. But as I say, it's purely for me.
Yeah, but that's totally
and I know
though,
that the photo that Stuart
honesty.
got, that was exceptional condition. So my photo is nowhere near as good as Stuart's. But when I go back, I'm hoping I may even better my shot.
Yeah.
But if that, not being funny, but if that shot was an hour away, there's no way I would spend that much time on that photo by getting in the car every day and driving an hour to this location. As I say, Stuart knows where I go camping. It's a 5-minute walk, and if the conditions are not right, I'll walk past it and I'll try and look for something else.
I think what people might counter with, possibly, I'm just preempting what they might say in the comments, is, well, what about honeypots? Because everyone takes the same shot at a honeypot location. But I would say back to that's almost like a given. People are going to take honeypot shots because it's been there for time immemorial. What is that word? Time immemorial.
Memoriam.
Yes, but the people have been taking that for a long time. so it's that's the thing. But with regards to yours and this incident, I've never seen that shot before.
So the place that I've shot this from, right? The place itself is not like an unknown lakes location. There's kind of a classic shot from that location that you'll see hundreds of. Where I've taken that picture from is you'll see a lot less. Now, as I say, I don't profess to be the first person to have shot there because I've taken workshop client groups up there. But the thing that's annoyed me the most, to be honest, about this is more the fact that I was getting not pestered, because people are just obviously well-meaning and they just think they're doing the right thing. But I was getting, one night I was getting bloody message after message after message from Pete, and I'm like, this is actually starting to get a bit of an inconvenience. And as I say, I've no real desire to kind of go on social media and flame this guy or anything. But
cool, I would.
But I was getting to the stage where I'm just like, this is really starting to annoy me. The fact that I'm having to constantly message people back going, well, what do you want me to do about it? You know what I mean? I know what I could do, but I mean, I don't gain anything from that. It's not, it's not really in my interest.
I'll bet he sits in the fast lane when he's went. I'll bet he does. I'll bet he does that as well. Cool.
The one thing
Sam,
I'd say with this... go on, Sam. Yeah, you as well.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, I was going to... I suppose it's a topic that I've got a bit of a personal personal thing about as well at the moment. But I think it's the way in which it's done. So you can take photographs of the same subject, I think, in different ways if it's your own interpretation of that subject in different conditions. And that applies to honeypots as well. And I've got a good example of why I would say that coming up. But when someone goes and I think in order to, and again, full caveat, we don't know, we weren't there when this guy took that photograph, but looking at the photograph and comparing it to Stu's, I don't see how he could have taken that photograph without having Stuart's photograph as reference to frame it and do the composition. And that is something where I think certainly you need to provide a little bit of credit. But the reason this is sort of a bit of a personal thing for me as well at the moment is we talked before about my photograph of those pines in Glen Affric, and I took that photograph of those pines knowing full well that Simon Baxter had previously photographed those pines, and I did mention that in the video. But the conditions I took for that, I took that photograph in different conditions, and it is a different composition. I knew that Simon had photographed those pines. I hadn't actually gone looking for them. I just came across them. Conditions were perfect. Took the photograph. Mentioned in the video that Simon had photographed these pines. But I think my photograph is sufficiently different from Simon's. It's a different composition of the same subject. And actually, that photograph has gone on to do pretty well in a couple of competitions and is now getting printed into a couple of books. So then do I give full credit to Simon Baxter for that photograph when it's printed up in those books? And I would say no, because it is my photograph. He has photographed those trees before, but then so has other people before him as well. So it's that it's a different sort of thing, and that's a different thing, I think, to going with a photograph as a reference and literally copying that photograph, which is a different thing. And I get the impression that that's what's happened here in the case of Stu.
Yeah. It's an ethics thing, isn't it? That's what we're talking about. If you've gone with the intent of trying to copy and trying to pull wool over somebody's eyes, then ethically it's just wrong, and it shouldn't be done. However, if it's totally innocent, genuine, and there's a lot of naivety in there, then obviously you've got a little bit of a get out. But it's not just the taking of other people's shots. I always said that I think locations as well, if you've gone to a location because you've been shown it by somebody else, if that's a video or if it's a personal recommendation, as long as that person is happy for that, if you're then talking about it on a video, then I think it's a nod to the person that's probably introduced you to that place as well. Otherwise you wouldn't have gone there if that other person hadn't have recommended it. So there's a lot of it. It's just ethics. It's just ethics within a community, I think, that we're talking about. And if you haven't got ethics, then it winds others that have got ethics up quite badly.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I agree, and I get that all the time when people say, "I've been to Home Fen and it's Jamie." I go there as much as he does. Unbelievable. Anyway, talking of... go on.
Can I just say one last thing with this? What I will say is, because there'll be people watching this who probably have wildly different opinions to what we're saying here. But if you're one of these people that, like this guy, who is, to be fair, well known for this, going out and replicating, if you're still at that stage after 2-3 years into your photography and you're continually replicating, you'll never improve. And I've seen so many people in the past who
That's so true.
They can take a reasonably well-exposed picture in good conditions and whatever, but if you're just replicating picture after picture, you never get any better. So
Absolutely,
that's fine to start with, but you've got to move on from that at some point.
Yep. I hope you're listening, Daz.
Well, I did wonder how that would be received by you guys. You know what I mean? It's not that I go around copying other people's photos, but I was genuinely inspired by that photo.
No, it's
really
unforgivable, Daz. It's unforgivable. It's disgusting behaviour.
Okay.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'll resign. I'll resign immediately.
Yeah, get off now. Get off now. Get off. Don't come back, you plagiarising bastard. By the way, the Pubcast are beginning or going to start a new website soon called the 415 Club. If anyone's interested, it's £425 a year, and we're going to have guest speakers. The first one's Stuart. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on now to some comments, because I forgot the comments. So let's pretend that I've done it on purpose, whereas actually I'd forgotten the comments. So I wanted to start with one, Daz, which was from where is it gone? Where has it gone? You see, this is the problem. I did actually have it, and then it's disappeared. Basically, it's from someone who said, when are you going to start vlogging again, Daz? That's what
I saw that comment. Yeah, I think it was about Nick Page. I don't know about Nick Page when you're going to start vlogging, which I thought was really kind, actually.
It's got a point.
I don't know.
When are you going to start vlogging again?
I don't know. I just really enjoy going out with the camera now. I really do. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I think if I ever get the urge, then obviously I'll do it. But we all know we all make videos, and they are hard work. You know, they take up a lot of time. And when I enjoyed doing them, it was a labour of love. I really enjoyed it. But then at the end, I was just putting in so many hours, you know. So, I've really got to have a passion to start up again. And at the moment, I'm just enjoying the photography. So
it was Neil Hampshire, by the way. It was Neil Hampshire.
But thank you, Neil.
That's that question. Yeah. And then I think my favourite comment of the week was from Tim Rosenberg, who said, "Another great Pubcast, Gary. Loved every minute of it." I mean,
all your work.
It's just me. It's just me, Tim. No one else is here, Tim.
Can I just give a massive big shout out to Tim? And I'm sorry, Tim, I meant to do this previously, but I don't know if you guys know, but Tim is 70, and Tim climbed a mountain in Glencoe for charity this summer, and it was actually, I can't remember the name of the mountain. It wasn't the Buchel, it was the one near the ski centre. But I think we should all give him a big round of applause for doing that.
Definitely.
Well done, Tim.
And he's a big follower of Pubcast too. And if he did it for charity. I don't know whether we can leave a link below for his charity thing if it's still open, Gary, but maybe.
Well, Tim, send in the comments, put your charity, and then the next podcast we do, we'll give it a plug and we'll put it in. But more importantly, thank you for thanking me, because I am the Pubcast really, and everybody knows that. So you are. At least you're appreciating it. Yeah. So thank you very much. And then Darren Morehouse said, "Nice to see you back in your chair, Daz." Which was nice. Your chair gets more comments than anything else, I think.
It does, yeah. As I say, nobody missed me. They just missed the chair.
Yeah. Next week, it'll just be your chair.
It'll just be the chair.
Yeah. We're not on next week, but we'll just do a live stream of your chair, just so people don't miss it. And then maybe we'll bring that 1970s sick-looking chair in for a bit, just to freshen things up.
My chair?
Is that behind you, isn't it? That's...
Do you know what? Right,
it looks like someone's vomited on it.
That is the most comfortable chair in the house.
You wouldn't want to get drunk in that, though. Christ, it'd make you feel ill, wouldn't it?
It's a lovely chair, that. It really is. I'll put a throw over on it just for you guys.
Thanks, mate. And Lynn H says, this was one of your best podcasts. So thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much, Lynn. You haven't watched many, obviously. Yeah. And then Pete Weidman says, great podcast again. One for you to watch, maybe, Gary. Thanks. If you've never seen it, The Circle. Has anyone seen The Circle?
Yeah, I've
Heard
seen
of
it.
it, but haven't seen it.
Yeah. Is that the one where people pretend to be someone else? Is that?
I think it's the one with Hermione from whatever her name is, Emma. It's Emma
Watson.
Emma Watson.
Emma
Yeah.
Watson. Okay.
I'm thinking of the right one. And Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah,
You're
I've seen
thinking
it.
of that
Yeah, I've
thing
seen
where
it.
they go into different rooms, Gary, aren't you? And then they have to, pretend to be.
Yeah.
Was
that called The Circle?
Davina McCall did that, didn't she?
Yeah, that was called The Circle, though.
I think it was. Yeah, but I don't think that's probably what this guy's talking about.
Yeah. If it's the
Right.
film, it's the Tom Hanks one.
Oh, okay.
I had a very distraught daughter, bless her, because of the one of the lads from One Direction. You know, but that was like a massive part of her childhood. You know, she went to see One Direction, I think, about 5 times in concert. You know, so you know, for that news. But I was chatting to her, and I said, you know, it's amazing. More of these kids don't do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Because they're thrust into the spotlight at such a young age.
Yeah.
How they even deal with them kind of pressures, I will never know. It's beyond the likes of us to even comprehend it. You think Justin Bieber survived all these years? I haven't got a clue.
No, you're right. My daughters both were really affected by it as well. Well, not really affected by it, but affected by it. And I guess for them, it's kind of like we were with, well, I was with, say, like Kurt Cobain, for instance, or, you know, because I can't think of another really big star from that era who's died at that age.
I'll tell you who affected me more than anything, and it was Princess Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I was almost in mourning when she died.
Do you know, it's really weird when she died. I was at university, and it was in the summer, and I was on my summer holidays, and I was actually working, and I was doing like pallet stacking to earn the money. And it was like I started at 5 o'clock every morning and worked through till 6 o'clock every night. So you can imagine I'm absolutely exhausted and knackered by the end of that shift. And for some reason that night I was awake and I put the telly on because I couldn't sleep. And it was literally when they'd announced that she'd had the crash. And then I just couldn't go to sleep. I just stayed up and watched it. Because I was like, you know, you just wanted to know, didn't you? You just sort of glued to it, and it was crazy. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah.
What I remember,
I'd say that's the biggest effect. I would say.
What I remember is when Tommy Cooper went. I remember watching him live because it was going out live on stage. On stage, wasn't it? I was only a teenager, obviously, and I remember I was with a young girl at the time, my girlfriend, and we were in her back room with the telly on, and her mum and dad were in the other room, and obviously, you know, we were all sort of canoodling up together, and then this happened, and it spoilt the moment completely. It was pretty rough.
Selfish Tommy Cooper.
Yeah, not like that.
He died, and it was all over just like that.
Oh, that's bad.
I watched the shuttle disaster live on television, and I thought
I
thought it was a film. Because we've been out mucking about with, you know, me and my brothers, and we ended up in Anne's house, and it was on the telly, and I was like, "What's this film?" Because I just thought it was a film. Because you know, what was that? 86? I would have been about 13, 14. I didn't even just had no comprehension it was real.
It was Ayrton Senna for me as well. I remember watching that.
Yeah, that was a bad crash because Roland Ratzenberger died that weekend as well, didn't he? Yeah. Same weekend. That was that something to do with hadn't they put some new gizmos into the car and it was causing lots of accidents, wasn't it? I believe.
Not sure.
Was that the early 90s?
Back 92, I think that was. Back 92.
Early 90s. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Happy days. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, moving swiftly on. Thanks for your comments, everybody. I mean, much appreciated. Thanks for bringing up death, Daz. That was
Sorry.
lovely little segment there.
Well, you want to wait for my watch of the week then?
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. Something to look forward to.
That doctor guy who used to put stuff on Channel 4 where he did live post-mortems, was it? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
No, I remember Dr. Shipman. He was a cheerful doctor, wasn't he? He won't get on the couch, will he?
Daz, I bet your watch of the week is the same one as mine. But I'll wait.
I wonder if it's the same as mine as well now.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it would be.
Anyway, we'll come on to that. So something to stay tuned for to see if we've all got the same thing. I don't, because I haven't got anything. Sam, you're doing Room 101 this week. So what is your Room 101, mate?
Are we ready for Room 101s? We've had whinge of a week. We've had complaining about plagiarism. We've had talking about death, and now we're having something else to complain about. Are we ready for Room 101?
This is how we roll these days.
This is us.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I've got a bit of a disclaimer about this because it's a certain type of YouTube video, and I want to make it very clear from the start that I am not criticizing anyone who has done these types of videos because I have done
you
one.
wuss.
No, I have done one myself. I know exactly why people do them, and I completely get it. I also understand why people like watching them, but I think it's time that people just stopped with these, and it's what's in my bag videos. Because, I mean, I get it for like things like long distance hiking and whatnot. It's interesting to know how people pack their bags and all that sort of thing. For landscape photography, we all know exactly what's in our bag. We've got a camera, we've got lenses probably from 16 to 200 mils focal range, maybe up to 400. We've got probably some filters in a tripod and some lens cloths in a puffer. That's what's in my bag. I don't need to do a whole video about that. And every other landscape photographer has probably got the exact same thing in their bag too. So I just feel like they're completely pointless. They're kind of, for me, a little bit almost like unboxing videos. I don't understand unboxing videos. I have no comprehension as to why that's a thing. Or why people
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you with unboxing videos because
I'm not going to let you.
When I sell stuff on eBay, right? When I sell stuff on eBay, I always like an unboxing video because then I can work out how it goes back in. So I kind of watch it backwards.
Actually, Daz will find that quite useful.
That goes there, right? That's where that bit goes. I can never because once you've got some out of the box, you can never get it back in, can you?
Yeah, they're quite intricate. Some of them out there.
Exactly.
Daz will find that quite useful for when he sends them back to MPV. In fact, Daz doesn't even need to unbox anything. He just needs to send it back.
Yeah. I'll just look at the box now. Send it back. Sorry, Sam.
I think what's in my bag videos, it feels like it's one of those kind of trends. I know why people did it. I did it myself. We do it usually because it's a rainy weekend. You've probably just started your YouTube channel. You're struggling for content. Want to put a video out, fine. But honestly, I think we're bored of them now. I'm more interested to know what's not in your bag, or what you'd like to put in your bag that you don't currently have. Those kind of things would be more interesting to me than what's in your bag. And it's just gear at the end of the day. So put it up on your website, and people can find out if they're interested.
Well, can I just say I watched
100 what's in my bag videos.
Well, I watched a what's in my bag video that went on for an hour.
What?
And it might have been right, literally. And at the end of the video, it was next week. I'll show you what's inside my bag. An hour was what was attached.
Is it Russian dolls?
What was attached to the bag.
I remember. I think I know the video you're talking about, Does.
And I couldn't believe it because I thought this has gone, because I was scrolling. I thought, gone on for an hour here and he's not even opened the zip.
Is this who I think it is? Is this who I think it is?
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, but it was just, but yeah, that was very detailed.
Did you enjoy it?
It's very detailed.
But that's but to be fair, that's a what's on my bag. It's not a what's in my bag. So at least that's it's a little bit different.
That's all right.
What's around my bag?
Yeah.
And there's also what's my bag.
Yeah,
In the same
what's
video
my-
as
yeah.
what's in my bag is what's my bag that goes the stuff that surrounds the stuff that's in my bag.
Well, I
But
think
having
we've all got the
said
same
that,
bag
I-
anyway, haven't we? So
Yeah.
I actually like what's in my bag videos, not for photography, but I do enjoy it for hiking.
Yeah.
I do. I find that really interesting, actually, what people carry on long distance hikes, kind of like the tent that they use and all this kind of stuff to travel light. And yeah, I do find that really interesting. I wouldn't want to watch them every day or every week, but now and again I do find it interesting.
but that absolutely makes sense for long distance hiking. But I completely agree with you there. I mean, I watch them for hiking as well because it's nice to see how people pack their bags for a long hike and how they keep the weight down. But for landscape photography, I couldn't give a monkeys.
Well, firstly, I can say happily, I've never done a what's in my bag video ever.
Neither have I.
No,
Yeah. So
So it's just me that's done it.
Yeah. So you put yourself in room 101.
So yeah, hate yourself essentially. I did see somewhere. I'm sure I read somewhere or someone said that I came across that people do what's in their bag videos as a reason to put affiliate links on. So it's kind of like a bit of a money spinner. So they'll go, "What's in my bag?" Oh, look, this is in my bag. And then all the affiliate links are down below. So someone will go, "Oh, I really want one of those walkie-talkies." And then off they go and order it. So, yeah, I did read that. But I don't think I've ever watched a What's in My Bag video all the way through, ever. Not once. Let alone a two-parter, Daz.
I didn't make part 2.
Did you not?
No. But I mean, each to their own. And some people are quite detailed and like to go into it. Some people.
No, let's be honest. It's just fishing for content and views. That's all that is.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that someone's sitting there making that genuinely inspired and enthusiastic about getting the bag out and showing some bloody lenses. I mean,
well, Stu, let's ask Sam.
Yeah, well, I did it. I think it was probably about the 5th video I'd ever made, and it was a rainy weekend. I'd literally just started the channel.
Inexperience.
I was trying to put videos out frequently at the time because I was thinking I've got to grow my channel. Is that that's exactly why I did it, and I think I did affiliate links too.
Was it before or after your instructional waterfall, how to take shots of waterfall video? Was it before or after that?
It might have been after.
Did you not learn from that?
My instructional how to take photographs waterfall video is still my highest performing video.
Yeah,
I'm never taking it down. Just don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Well, I think other than Daz, I think are we all going to put that in room 101? Are we going for?
I'm going to put camera. I'm happy to put camera bags in room 101.
Is it
not hiking bags?
Is that just what's in or what's on and around? You're going to put that in as well, or?
Yeah, I'm going to put that can go in.
The whole lot. Okay,
the whole lot can go in apart from hiking.
Okay. Jamie, you putting it in?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Sam clarified at the outset that it was landscape photography bags, and I totally agree. Yeah, waste of time. Filler videos, and I wouldn't watch them anymore. In they go.
Stu, you got one coming out, or are you going to put it in as well?
Oh, no, definitely in. It's utter pish.
Yeah.
Utter pish. There you go.
Well, I'm going to agree with everyone on this one. I'm putting it in as well. So having
in
never done one.
Thanks, guys.
So that was an easy one this week.
That was an easy one this week.
That was an easy, kind of. Mind you, last week, what was it last week? Oh, everyone put. What was the subject last week?
It was my review.
That was yours. That was Jamie's, wasn't it? Yeah, and I think everyone agreed last week. Actually,
I don't think everyone agreed. If I'm honest with you,
apart from Gary,
there was one abstainer in the group.
Yeah.
I mean, if they gave you a Hasselblad to review, you might. I bet you'd review one of them, wouldn't you?
Is everyone getting free Hasselblads at the moment?
Well, I had to. Do you know what? We had a comment about the Hasselblad with someone. It was from. I'll have to flip and find it now. Colin Traveller, I think it was from, and he was saying that the people reviewing Hasselblads who haven't even really used it, they don't even know the functions of it. So I'm like, who is? I don't even know who these people are. I mean, I could have guessed really, because it just, as long as you start with like 200,000 subscribers, you're probably going to get one.
Adam's
but
got
yeah,
one, isn't he?
yeah, but he didn't get a free one to review, did he?
I think he did.
These
It was a different one. Yeah, it was the other one.
Yeah.
The previous
Not
one.
the special edition. Not the special edition one.
No,
Tom got the
Oh,
special
has
edition
Adam?
one, didn't he?
Has Adam got a Hasselblad then? I thought he was. Fuji when he had them.
No, he was. I think he did. He keep it, or was it just on loan? I thought he was given one. It will have to
Yeah,
be
well, this recent round where they gave them, well, to at least Tom, Gavin Hardcastle got one, I think, as well. And
Thingy got
Adam
one.
as
James
well.
Pops has got one.
James Pops, yeah. That's
But they
right,
also
yeah.
got. They didn't just get the Hasselblad. They also got money to go and go abroad and film with it. So they got given like a fund to go abroad and film with it. So
Fair play.
But I don't know. I can't. Do you know what? I'm negative. I'm always negative about these things, but I can't really blame them. Can you?
No.
Really?
No.
That's marketing. That's
I
marketing.
actually, I don't
Yeah,
blame
yeah.
the companies as well. I think it's a
Yeah.
good marketing ploy from the companies.
Absolutely.
But I mean, and the thing is, I looked through the comments, some of the comments on a couple of their videos, and you got people going, "Oh, you've sold out now," and I'm unsubscribing. And what would they do? Are you genuinely telling me that these people? And you know me, I'm the most controversial person, and I've always get myself into trouble. But are you genuinely telling me that these people who are moaning would turn down a free Hasselblad and X thousands of pounds to go somewhere abroad and test it out? And they weren't even asking for a review of it. They just said, do a video of us with a Hasselblad.
The only thing I'd say to some of this stuff, and I'm like you can't blame people for taking those sort of offers, but the only kind of worry I have with some of this stuff is it's kind of normalizing the idea that this is just part of landscape photography, that people use 15 grand cameras. It isn't. You know what I mean? It's not even remotely normal. It's nice for the people that are using them.
Yeah.
But that kind of camera, to virtually everyone watching those videos, is never going to be a possibility to them. So, but the amount of that kind of stuff you see on YouTube, it's making it appear like this sort of thing is like, well, I wouldn't say it's commonplace, but it's more normal than you'd think, and it isn't. It's not normal at all.
No, it's not normal. But you think, I guess you look at it from Hasselblad's point of view. If there will be people. How many thousands of views does Thomas Heaton get a week, or James Popsis, or Gavin Hardcastle? They get thousands of views.
Oh, it's good marketing.
Thousands.
Good marketing. It's
So
common sense marketing.
they only need to have 10 people out of those thousands to have the disposable income to go. Thomas Heaton's. I mean, look, I'll hold my hands up. Right, when I first started landscape photography, I got a Canon 5D Mark III. I got a 24-70 f2.8 2 lens. I got a 70-200. I got a Manfrotto tripod with a I only got them because Thomas Heaton had them, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Because back then I didn't know any better, and I thought, well, do you know what? He's the biggest photographer on here. I'll follow him, and he's getting them. So when I got some money, I got the same as he did. So you only need a few people to go. Thomas Heaton's using a Hasselblad. I've got the disposable income. I'm going to buy a Hasselblad, and Hasselblad get their wish, don't they?
If only you'd watched a few more "What's in My Bag" videos, Gary, you would have done another thing.
I was so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, the marketing departments have got a budget to spend every year on a new product launch, and they're choosing to spend it now on the influencers because they know that that's where they're going to get a best return on that investment.
And let's be honest, as much as we dislike it and moan about it, and believe me, I've moaned about it in the past. People like Hasselblad and DJI and GoPro and Canon and Fuji, they're not going to give us cameras, are they? And expensive drones. Why would they give them to us? We have a very small audience. they're going to give them to the people who've got hundreds of thousands because that's where their sales point is. So, and if you're whoever, Thomas Heaton or whoever you are, you're in that circle. Someone says to you, "Here's a free Hasselblad," you'd be an idiot to turn it down. As much as I might go, and people might go, "Oh, you sold out," you'd be an idiot to turn it down.
Well, I don't begrudge it or have any issue with it whatsoever. And I think the channels which receive these, the likes of Thomas Heaton and James Popsis, first of all, their channels are great. They produce fantastic content on a regular basis. They've grown a big following and have done extremely well, and deserve to do well from it. So they deserve, in my opinion, to be backed by companies like Hasselblad. I completely understand why a company like Hasselblad would do it, because actually from their point of view, I mean, you've got to remember what Hasselblad is in the context of wider context of companies. They are a very specialist camera manufacturer that produce a relatively small number of high-priced, high-quality ticket items. They're not going to sell millions of them. They're not consumable.
Targeted.
They're very specialist, and they're specialist for the likes of landscape photographers. So there's no point in them putting a big advert out on TV. The best way for them to market is to provide the likes of landscape photography YouTube channels with equipment, so that people can then aspire to that. And I think that's a good thing in many ways. I think it's absolutely fine. And I think actually people who begrudge from that are actually doing a disservice for the amount of content that they receive from these creators that they've enjoyed over the years. And they shouldn't begrudge the success that these people have.
So anyway, whoever asked the question about the Hasselblad, there you go. Now you've had your answer. So, and there was another one actually I saw. I don't know whether it was us. I think it was us. Or was it someone else discussing it? I know the F7.1 guys discussed it on their latest podcast, and they were talking about the 6.1. What is it? 617? Is it 618?
Oh, was that Thomas's and Simon Baxter's new thing?
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. I just watched a video, and he said, Is
it
like an online photography club or something?
It's basically an online camera club. It's I'll tell you what it is, really and truly. It's a Facebook group behind a paywall. But they've got, good speakers, and I think you get to meet up with them once every so often, and once every 4 times a year or something, and and people were moaning about the price, and all I can say to them is, don't bother, because it won't change anything, because I moaned about the price of the F4 thing. Do you remember that?
What's the price? What's the price of it?
It's like 200 something quid a year, I think. You can't pay for it monthly, you have to pay for it yearly. And I get that. I mean, I get that. If you're floating something, first time you do it, you've got that income coming in, haven't you? That if you get it yearly, you've got that. We do it with our cricket. We have an all-inclusive where you pay for the year up front if you want to, and that brings us loads of money in at the start of the year, and then we can pay for stuff as the year goes on, rather than getting it in dribs and drabs monthly. So I kind of get why they're doing it, and people say, oh, it's cutting out the. Frankly, without meaning to sound mean, they don't really care about whether you can afford it or not. They just want to get the money in. So, and that's just how it is, And I always used to, do you remember that? You remember that F4 conversation we had? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Ages ago, and I banged on about it, said it should be cheaper, and that what about they should be doing something for everyone? They don't have to do it if they don't want to, do they?
No.
Well, if they want to do it, do what they want to do. So let them get on with it. So, that's my new mantra. Let them get on with it. By the way, I'm drinking Smeaton now.
You spat in some shit, you do.
That's my new mantra. For how long?
Until someone pisses me off.
Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, Stu, what were you going to say? Go on, Stu.
I've no idea, not much idea what this thing is that you're on about, but what you're saying about pricing, I mean, market dictates, the price will be whatever you can get away with. And, that's it.
Also, I think personally, I'm probably going to disagree to some extent with you on this, but I actually think it's
With
absolutely
who? With me?
Possibly. I
didn't say anything. I was positive about them.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. so I think the pricing's fine for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but again, it's how much would a morning workshop cost? I don't know, but for a year of private
Depends
access
if you go
to a
to
club.
Antarctica or not, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's private access to a club. You have personal sort of interaction with these people, good talks, great speakers, and it's just another. I think the way things are going, people need to diversify their income streams if they're reliant upon this. If you're a YouTube creator in photography, that's not an indefinite way of earning an income necessarily. So whether it's a sponsorship from Hasselblad or running your own private club, I think it's always that you need to look into to actually be able to earn a living from it. I think if there will be enough people willing to pay it, I would consider it myself if I felt I would benefit from it.
It's £148. £148 for the year.
£148 is a bargain.
That's not bad.
Well, that's what's that? 12 144. It's what, 13 quid? Just over £12 a month.
It's all right, isn't it?
Do you know, I would strongly
affordable,
consider
isn't it?
joining that myself for that, because again, it's how to give back to people that I appreciate their content, and I've had lots of free content from them for years, and I'd the same way as be happy to spend £80 on a book, or £100 on a print, £150 for joining a private club and having access to good talks. I'd be perfectly happy to pay that.
Yeah.
Cost of a Netflix subscription, isn't it? Something like that. So
Yeah.
Oh my God, though. Listen to this. They've got 592 members. That's £87,000. £87,616 they've made. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
So the price
Do you know
is
what I
right.
mean?
Been a success.
And do you know what? Go on.
I was going to say it's a lot of work for them to do as well. They've got.
And if they've got speakers, I'm guessing they have to pay for the speakers to come on and all that. So I'm sure that's not just in their pocket. But yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, I'm actually weirdly, because I'm very negative about these. I am actually weirdly, no, I am. In the past, I've been, negative about that sort of thing. But I'm actually fair enough. If
I think you're changing, Gal, as the years go on. I do.
Maybe I'm just chilling out a little bit. Yeah,
I think you are. You are just chilling out.
Yeah.
It's all the rage is coming out on the road, and everything else is now calm.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing
can.
to this? Because I'm slightly on the other side of the fence to you guys with this. Is that I think people out there don't quite realise just how difficult it is to be a professional landscape photographer these days, especially if your main revenue driver comes from things like social media and YouTube. Because this, like Sam's saying there, the YouTube, I mean, it probably is already kind of on the downhill in terms of popularity and all of that, and you do have to diversify. So if people are finding a way to keep that going, then it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with you. So fair play. Just don't put in the wrong number. Don't put in I think there was 617. Don't put in 69 Club or something. Totally different things. You're not expecting. So make sure you get the right number. I wonder why they went 617. I wonder what the reasoning was behind that, or why they called themselves that.
I can't remember. I think I was watching one of Tom's videos and he explained it, and I can't now remember what it was. Someone in the comments will tell us.
Don't know. Yeah, tell us in the comments.
Why have they called themselves? Yeah.
Photographers everywhere are always moaning about not having platforms anywhere to share their work, or you know what I mean. Yeah. And let's be honest, communities on all platforms are completely dying. So if someone's willing to try and provide some of that, then fair play to them.
Yeah, I agree, and why not? They are pretty big, both pretty big. I mean, Simon's not as big as Tom because he didn't do as much, but they're he's. You got to say Thomas Heaton's probably the daddy of landscape photography on YouTube, isn't he? Really, certainly in the UK he is anyway. So, fair play to him. Fair play to him. Even though he declined to come on the podcast. So there you go. So there's a reason to unsubscribe.
What from us?
Yeah, no, not from us. No, Christ, no. No,
Not endorsed. We're not endorsed.
If you're watching, Tom, I'll join your 617 club if you come on the podcast.
Bloody hell.
You never will. Anyway, what were you going to say, Jamie?
I was just going to say, when is it that we're going to put the podcast behind that paywall that we were talking about and make ourselves the podcast club? Are we going to do that ever?
No,
never. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, because we won't get any money out of it.
They've only got 1,400 subscribers.
Exactly. No, I tell you what, though, I will say, our subscribers and our watchers are pretty bloody avid, aren't they?
Yeah, really good.
They really care, and that for me is worth more than 100,000.
It's a good little community. This, I must admit.
It is a good community
because we get the regular kind of people that comment, every single week, watch it through, and so I'm glad they're enjoying it.
Yeah, you watch. We're having a couple of weeks off. You watch. We'll get people going, no, you can't have a couple of weeks off. What am I going to do? And it's which is really fantastic. Okay, so as we've been going for quite a long time, and we've done a lot of photography and a lot. Let's be honest, we've done a lot of moaning this week, haven't we? Except for that last little bit, actually, it was quite positive. And Daz brought up death as well. I think we should have something a bit more positive. So let's talk about watch of the week. Daz, what's your watch of the week?
Right. Well, it's something that I've watched for years. There's only literally 14 episodes, and I'll watch them and then I'll kind of go for a whole year without watching them, and then I think, I want something to listen to, because this is the thing that you don't have to watch. You can be working away and have this playing in the background. It's brilliant, this is. And I think this show, it's called The Final 24. And I think originally it was made for the Discovery Channel. And now it's got a YouTube channel, which is called The Final 24.
What's it about, Daz?
Basically, what it's about is the final 24 hours before somebody dies, but it's somebody very famous, and they normally die in a very tragic way. And so the people, it's basically a biography. I know it sounds a little bit kind of, but it's really interesting because it's a biography, and they'll tell you all about their life and their work and their career, but then there'll be a countdown until they actually die at the end. And they have people that's kind of, friends, colleagues that are being interviewed. It's great. But the people they have, that's been on there. So there's been they had done one on Keith Moon, the Who drummer.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Jay Hunter Thompson, the Gonzo journalist.
Hunter S. Thompson, sorry. Crikey, I should have brought it up.
He was a Muppet, weren't he?
Crikey, my mind's gone blank now as who's on there. But there's, but you just go and watch it. It's honestly,
okay. Thank
me later. You'll really, really enjoy. River Phoenix, he was on there. He was one of them. JF Kennedy, Anna Nicole Smith. She was one of them. Yeah. Really good. It's the biography, but it's also a countdown to how they.
So it's like the final 24 hours, sort of just broken down.
Yeah.
So
like River Phoenix, kind of, they was telling you like about his life and how he was supporting.
Where did he go? Family. Where did he go, River Phoenix? What was that club called? He went to a club, didn't he?
The Viper Club.
The Viper Club. That was it.
With Johnny Depp. Yeah. But they explained that he was clean, and he was like, on this particular episode, he was waiting to go on stage, because that's what he actually wanted to do. His real love was music, not actually acting. But River Phoenix was actually the main breadwinner in his house. So he acted to support his mum and his dad and his siblings, but his love was actually music. And he was clean of drugs because he was making this particular film. It was, what was that film called? My Private Idaho, I think it was.
Okay.
And then he stayed clean, and then he wanted to get on stage, and they cancelled him right at the end because he didn't have time. And then he thought, "Oh, sod it," and someone offered him some drugs, and then he OD'd. You know, but they explain all of this. It's fascinating, really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be any good for like my granddad, for instance. Like 24 hours to death hospital. 23 in bed in hospital, 22 hours in bed.
No, it is normally a very tragic kind of ending, So,
Okay. Jamie, what have you got, Jamie?
Yeah, thanks for that, bringing me up following death.
It's all right.
The only thing I've watched that we enjoyed was another iPlayer thing this week, Show Trial. That was those 2 seasons.
Oh, don't tell me about that, because we're going to watch that, I think.
Yeah, the first one I think was better than the second one in our opinion, but both watchable, enjoyable. But I was going to ask your opinion because my lad he kept banging on and on and on to us to watch Breaking Bad, and we ended up watching Breaking Bad and watched all of the seasons. I must admit, we watched the first season about 6 or 7 episodes in, and then we gave up. And I said, I don't like it. And he says, no, persevere, Dad, persevere, you'll like it. So we did. And by the end of the whole season, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. One of the best watches I've seen. He now wants me to watch Walking Dead.
Yes.
Which is 12 seasons, apparently, or a huge amount
11,
of seasons.
It's 11 seasons.
11
right, okay,
seasons.
So...
But the question is, should I invest in 11 seasons of Walking Dead?
No,
is it worth it?
No.
Have you watched Walking Dead, Daz?
I started to watch Walking Dead.
Right, how much have you watched?
My son was a big fan. Oh. He asked me to watch it. I couldn't get on with it, right? Then I've heard I've had so many people say, do you know what? I started watching it. I really enjoyed it. And then it just got boring. And then I watched it for the sake of watching it.
How much have you watched?
I think I've watched about half an episode. But don't go on my review. Go on Joe Rogan's review. Go on these other people. Yeah, I thought it was a load of old bollocks.
You watched half an episode.
Okay, I watched the first episode last night. So
have you watched it, Stu?
I watched about 2 series of it, I think, and it felt to me like not totally different program, obviously, but it felt to me a bit like Lost. I watched about 4 or 5 seasons of Lost, and then literally towards the end of Lost, they started to get lost with how they were writing it. I felt that anyway. That's the joke, isn't it? But I felt it a bit like that with Walking Dead. I was watching it, and I was sort of like, oh, I've kind of sort of got the idea with this now.
To be fair, Stu, season 2 is a bit slow. It is a bit slow.
Maybe I should have pushed through, maybe. But
Sam, have you watched it?
No,
right, great. So I can talk now, right? Okay, I can talk now. Having someone who's watched every episode, right? The Walking Dead.
Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, David Koresh. That was a good episode. Tupac, Marvin Gaye.
Is this still The Walking Dead?
He done.
Sid Vicious.
Technically, it could
Sid
be.
Vicious.
Right. The Walking Dead, Jamie. See, I will answer your question even with Daz talking over the top.
Thank you.
The Walking Dead is really, really good. It's 11 seasons, but it should have stopped at about season 7.
What did I say? What did I say a minute ago?
No, but it's still good. It's still good after season 7. Season 8 is shit. But season 1 to 7 is good. Season 9 to 11 is okay. But it's worth watching just for the first 7 seasons. It is really good. I mean, there's stuff in there.
7 seasons. How many
I think that was the bit that put me
episodes
off.
in a season? About
16,
20.
16 episodes. So
16 in a season.
16 hours.
Jeez.
the first
That's a
season,
lot
6
of telly.
episodes. The first season, 6 episodes.
So yeah, the
And the
first
second
100 hours, Jay, is a bit slow, but after that it warms up.
No. The second season's good, but the third, fourth, fifth is some of the best television I've watched. And 6 is okay. 7, then, even though it's got a brilliant villain in it, it then gets a bit like, it gets to a point about season 8 where it's like, you've been in a zombie apocalypse now for like 6 years. How have you got unlimited ammo? And why are all these gun battles going on? It's a bit stupid. But like, I'm still watching. Like, I still watch like the Daryl Dixon.
He's proving my point for me. He's trying to big this program up and then saying how rubbish it is.
No, because the first 7 seasons are up there with some of the best television I've watched. So it's worth watching for that. And then if you get to that point and then you get to like season 8 and you go, oh, yeah, at least you've watched 7 seasons, because it doesn't really end. There's no like, there's no ending to it. There's still spin-offs now.
Do you not think though that, like for me anyway, I would have a hard time stopping at season 7 if I knew there was 11 seasons. Do you know what I mean? You naturally want to see a conclusion, but if you got that far into it, that's a lot of telly to watch.
Well, I just say suffer.
And if there's no conclusion, then that's a lot of investment.
You're not going to watch it. Yeah.
Well, there is a conclusion, but it's not suffer season 8, Jamie. Just suffer season 8.
God, I'm only on one episode of season 1, so that's
So don't you think that is almost like a typical American thing? They get something that's perhaps really good, and then they just milk the arse out of it for season after season after season.
Yeah, I mean,
they do.
I still watch the spin-offs now. I've got to say, so because the characters are really well written and they're really good. It's just it lost its way for a bit. That's all. But it's brilliant television. I'd say it's not as good as Game of Thrones, but it's up close to Game of Thrones. The first 6 seasons are up close to Game of Thrones, I'd say.
But that's what we liked about Breaking Bad, that it did lose its way a little bit as well. I think first season of Breaking Bad was okay, tough. The second season was pretty poor, and then it got better. And there was a bit of a conclusion. Well, there was a conclusion to it. So that's good to be, because it's manageable and there's a conclusion. But if I'm going to watch 11 seasons, there isn't much of a conclusion.
Well, there is a conclusion, but it's set up for spin-offs. You've watched, how long? Half an hour. You can't comment, Daz. No, Daz is not allowed to comment. No comment. No.
I'll tell you what's really good, a really good series that you can binge watch that I think's great all the way through is Sons of Anarchy. Have any of you watched that?
Oh, now you see, Sons of Anarchy. One of the main characters in Sons of Anarchy is in Walking Dead. I don't know what his name is, but he's
Sons of Anarchy,
big bloke. Yeah,
right. I'm doing a Dave. Really I'm going to make a note of that one then.
Yeah,
yeah. Watch that. Much better.
Okay, trust me, Jamie. Watch it. Trust me. Watch it. Be good. Sam, what have you got? Anything?
Well, I feel like I should sort of cheer it up a little bit now. We've been talking about dead people, dying things, zombie apocalypses.
Yeah.
So for a little bit of light watching, actually, I've been watching a lot of stuff about serial killers. So my recommendations would be Mindhunter, which is good. The only thing with Mindhunter is it's 2 seasons and it kind of stops. And it'd be nice if they carried it on for a 3rd season. That doesn't.
The travesty.
Yeah, but it is really, really good, and I'd highly recommend it. And the other thing which I'm watching at the moment is I'm watching The Monster. It's the Lyle and something Menendez. I can't remember their names now.
Oh yeah,
is it Tate and Lyle?
Tate and Lyle.
Menendez.
Sweet.
Lyle's got the jumpers, the golfing jumpers.
Yeah. A bit sugary.
It's not Tate and Lyle. Yeah,
killed the parents.
But yeah. But the first, because I watched the first season of that was, is it Jeffrey Dahmer? And that was good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Just watched something on Netflix about Jeffrey Dahmer, the dramatizer. Oh,
yeah.
It's got the guy in it out, the Good Doctor. You know, the Good Doctor guy.
Yeah.
God, that is scary.
So that was the first season, and then we've done another one, but it's for the Menendez brothers, which is just come out fairly recently, and I'm watching that at the moment. And it's dark. I mean, it's difficult watching at times, but yeah, it's quite a nice thing to watch early in the morning before work, I find.
Yeah,
Sets you up for the day.
Yeah.
Well, I've got nothing. I've got nothing this week. I could throw back an old recommendation, but I've got nothing really.
Well, something else that I am actually watching, because the last 24 is something that I kind of listen to at work, and there's I don't know if you watched it, called Snowpiercer on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen it all, Jay?
Yeah, it's a film, isn't it? It's not a series.
Apparently, it's a series, and I must admit that was very slow. It was me and Els. We normally kind of like have dinner, sit in the kitchen, and we put an episode of something on. We like to watch like a series, you know. And I must admit, Snowpiercer was just one of these things that was just like, after about 3 or 4 episodes, it was like, I don't know if we're really into this, but again, we just kind of put it on having dinner. And then towards the end of season 1, it started to get good, and season 2 has got Sean Bean in it, and it's actually really improved. It's one of.
Don't get excited; he'll die.
I've never seen Sean Bean, I think, apart from Game of Thrones, actually play a good guy. He dies in everything. He's always the baddie and always dies.
It was Boromir, weren't he? He died. Yeah, he always dies.
Yeah. Did Sharp die?
I'd imagine so. Yeah. Eventually,
because all I can think of, the only good guys he was in Sharp and Game of Thrones. That was it. Everything else I've seen Sean Bean in, he's been pretty much a bad guy.
I'm sure there was a football film about Sheffield United. He was a good guy in that.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, perhaps I'm doing a disservice then. But
yeah,
he was a good guy in Lord.
He was a good guy in Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings,
Boromir in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he was a good guy in that.
Died early.
Oh, was he? I thought he was trying to. He went a bit crazy trying to get.
Oh, he did, but that wasn't his fault.
He redeemed himself. He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He had a redemption arc.
All right.
Stu, what about you then? What are you watching?
I'm kind of reluctant to say now, because mine is also murder related, but I'm beginning to wonder if this group is like a group of sociopaths. But
it's fine as long as you don't plagiarize us.
Of course. No, it's more of like a dark comedy. It's just come on Sky Atlantic, called Sweet Pea. And it's a little.
I like the look of that.
Advertised,
I like the look of that.
If you've watched Killing Eve on BBC, it's quite similar to that. It's like a sort of dark comedy, but with sort of moments where it's pretty sort of, gruesome, I guess. But yeah, that we've just watched all it. It's six episodes, I think, and it was really good. I was just looking at the thing on Rotten Tomatoes for it, and it's like over 80% on that. So that's usually a good gauge, I think, if it's any good.
Yeah. She was very good in Fallout. Have you watched Fallout?
Yeah. No. Well, I've seen the first few episodes.
Yeah, she was very good in that.
She's very pretty, that girl, isn't she? She's got very striking,
oddly pretty.
Big eyes, hasn't she? But, yeah. Pretty distinctive looks.
Yeah. I have thought of some actually before we go. Have any of you guys watched This Is England?
Yeah.
I think I have actually. Yeah, the name rings a bell.
Because who mentioned Show Trial? You mentioned Show Trial, didn't you, Jamie? Yeah. The guy who's in the lead in Show Trial, the second season, was in This Is England. And that is, I mean, I've watched that. I hadn't watched it at all until about 3 years ago. And since then, I've watched it about 4 times.
Is that a
absolutely
film?
Love it. It was a film. And then it became a series. So This Is England, and then This Is England 86, and then 88 and 90, I think. It's got Stephen Graham in it. It's
I think.
Oh, and what's her face out of Line of Duty? Vicky McClure, she's in it, and the guy who's in Brassic is in it as well.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it.
Oh, brilliant television.
I think I might have seen it now. You've said about that guy from.
I think I've only seen the film.
Oh, see, the film is the worst one, which is the first one. After that, the series are just brilliant to watch, amazing. So yeah, I would highly recommend that, and I might go back and watch that again actually because I haven't watched it for a little while. But yeah, fantastic. Right, we've been going for 1 hour and 56 minutes and 13 seconds.
And I'm busting for a wee.
Yeah, so
me
I
too.
think what we'll do is we'll say goodbye at this point. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this week. Like I said, we're off for a couple of weeks after this week. Stu, are you? I'm just holding these two up now. Stu, are you back? Are you here the week after that? You are, aren't you?
No, I'm 2 group workshops the next fortnight. Then the middle 2 weeks of November, I'm back, and then the end to November, December, I've got 2 more workshops.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so you're flitting in and out basically.
Yeah,
but some of us will be back anyway, definitely in 3 weeks' time. But thank you very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it. How are you guys? You all right?
Oh, can I have a wee?
Bloody desperate. So come on, finish it.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.